Hello and welcome to this college football 25 kind of like future. What's going to happen in the future? We're going to compare this with Madden 25 so we can put the the seniors in this into Madden 25 so that it's an aligned universe so we can see what happens. And I'll just be looking over teams. I'll probably mainly be on Air Force and there's auto recruiting. We're going to see what happens in the future, like who becomes a dominant powerhouse or who falls. But this is the first season, so you'll see that the top 25 are quite normal. Georgia 1, Ohio 2, Texas in 3, Oregon, Ole Miss, Alabama, Penn State, Notre Dame, Michigan, and Missouri in your top 10. This is last year's schedule, as this is the older college football. And if you want to look at the Heisman Watch, the preseason, Ollie Gordon II is favourite to win, the running back from Oklahoma State. However, I'm going to simulate through weeks, and if there's an important game, I will go in there and hop in, but I won't play, I'll just view. And also the recruiting class. The top 10 prospects, I'll try and keep an eye on them. It's Tyler Avant is an athlete who looked like he'll be a running back. QB, Javier Willis, who's a scrambler. Another QB, Kyrie Whitehead, as he said as an athlete, he's also a scrambler. Wide receiver, Alejandro Castaneda. Matt Robinson, left tackle. Tyron Garrison, who I don't actually know. Cole Raggage, who's free safety. Left outside linebacker, Isaiah Kearns. Right outside backer, Tyree Bolin. And cornerback, Laren Lemon. UCLA is, well, I won't actually say it's winning at the moment as it's subject to change. So we'll be simulating, and if there's an important game a week, I might go watch it. However, it doesn't, I'll simulate the week, and we'll see what happens. As we see from week 1, USC picked LSU. There are quite a few FCS games that I won't bother covering. Oklahoma beat Temple, but we'll look for the more important one. Clemson and Georgia, two ranked teams. Georgia thrashed Clemson 34-16 at Georgia. Furthermore, Texas A&M become unranked, losing to Notre Dame, and I guess that's it. The new top 25, I might do this every week. Georgia, Ohio, Texas, Oregon, Ole Miss, Penn State, Notre Dame, Michigan, Missouri go up to 9th, Utah in 10th. That's the top 10. No real surprises except maybe Iowa in at 25. New top 25 after week 3 is Texas, Georgia, Ohio, Ole Miss, Penn State, Notre Dame, Missouri, Utah, Oklahoma, Arizona. See, Michigan lost last week, Oregon lost last week, Alabama, I think, lost last week. I think they started 1 now. Florida sneaking top 25, and so did Kentucky and Wisconsin, who went there last week, pretty sure. For important games within the top 25 this week, however, there's the Washington rivalry, which will be very much a bit upside, as Washington State are not in a good area at the moment of time. Your top 25 this week: Texas still at 1, Georgia at 2, leapfrogging Ohio State because they had a bye. Ole Miss at 4, Penn State 5th, Notre Dame 6. 7th is Utah. 8 Oklahoma. 9 Oklahoma State, and 10 North Carolina State. Miami are now 2-1. I think they leapfrogged. Alabama lose yet again to, I think, an unranked opponent this time. Washington win to come 3-0. Kansas 3-0 and go from 21st to 12th, I'm pretty sure. Florida drop out of the top 25. SMU jump in. This week's top 25, we see Texas still in first, Georgia still in second, Ohio still in third, Ole Miss now fourth, Penn State third, fifth for 3-0, Utah 6, 4-0, Oklahoma 7th, North Carolina State 8th, Louisville 9, Kansas 10, 4-0. We see Alabama still ranked 22nd. They're playing Georgia this week, which could knock them out of the top 25 if they lose. Wisconsin are 3-0, Texas Tech 4-0, SMU 4-0, Washington 4-0. There's still quite a few undefeated teams. Notre Dame lose and fall all the way to 19th place. Oklahoma State lose to Louisville, go to 14th. Top 25 is Texas, Georgia, Ohio, Penn State, North Carolina, Louisville, Kansas, they're still in there. Michigan, Oregon, and Ole Miss in the top 10. Still some undefeated teams such as Wisconsin, and a 5-0 Colorado, and a 5-0 North Carolina. Whilst Alabama lose 32-29 against Georgia, being 1-3. However, they're able to just stay in the top 25. The top 25 are relatively similar. Florida being added on to it. Arizona, I'm pretty sure, losing quite a few spots. Not many new. I think Florida's the only new team to be added to the top 25. Texas, Georgia, Ohio are still the top 3 as they've always been. The Heisman leader at the moment is Kansas QB Jalen Daniels. Is it in Pfizer? Must be doing well. That's Kansas 6, and Will Howard, Ohio State's quarterback. Grayson McCall, North Carolina State quarterback. Carson Beck, Georgia quarterback, and Silas Bolden, wide receiver from Texas. Everyone who's in the Heisman race is ranked in the top 5. We see now that the top 10 recruits, 3 have committed, with Illinois leading event, the running back, Texas winning the quarterback, Willis, and Texas also winning the quarterback, Whitehead. Ohio is leading the wide receiver, Castaneda. Michigan has run Robinson, the left tackle. Cincinnati are leading in the athlete of Garrison. Alabama are winning in Rage, the free safety. Combs is being led by Michigan State, the left outside linebacker. Right outside linebacker, Texas is leading, and the cornerback Lemon is being led by Washington State. Wow, Washington State. So 3 of the top 10 recruits have been chosen to a sideline. They are committed. Texas have got most of them. As we keep advancing, we're going to focus more. I'm going to show games really when it's the last couple of weeks where it's the conference championship, and when it's a decider for the conference championship. Michigan now in fourth. Top three is still the same. Kentucky, Appalachian State are ranked 24th. Penn State 23rd. Liberty 22nd. Liberty is new. Texas, they go out of the top three and they fall to 13th. Now being 5-2. North Carolina 8-0. Florida 7-0. And there's not many just winning teams left. With many teams now having at least one loss to their name. So we see Alabama are no longer ranked as well. If we get into the final couple of weeks, we're going to now be seeing the conferences, see if there's any games that we should watch to decide the conference championship. And see who could make the playoffs. Kansas lost 2 in a row to come 24th. Boston College and Nebraska new into the top 25. This is now week 13, so it's not long left of the season for most of the teams. Miami, Ohio. Jesus. In 17th at 9-1, and Texas State Bobcats 10-0 at 19th. We thought we're out of some shock teams, but no. They keep popping up. North Carolina State loses 1 game and drop from 2nd to 12th. The top 3 all 10-0. Colorado a surprise there. Same with Texas State and Miami, Ohio being in top 25. Boston College 7-3. Many 8-2 teams. The college football playoff brackets at the moment is Miami University, the 17th seed, being 12th ranked, facing Texas. Michigan facing Texas A&M, Ole Miss facing Kansas State, SMU facing Oregon, and Miami, Ohio, Colorado, and Georgia all having byes, even though Miami are ranked 15th. The leader for the Heisman, the last committee, is Will Howard. Shedeur Sanders in second, Dylan Gabriel, Carson Beck, and Jalen Daniels. The Kansas State QB still going strong in their Heisman watch. As we look at conference standings, the ACC, looks like it'll be Miami, North Carolina State, SMU have a chance. American got not much. The Big 12 probably will be Colorado and Kansas State. Utah still have a chance, so at 6-2. However, you'd favour Kansas to win on, as the conference has quite a few weak teams scattered in there. Big 10 looks like it'll be Michigan, Ohio, Maryland ranked. Oregon still have a chance. Maryland, Nebraska do a bit. Ooh. Alright. Miami. Not as surprised, won every game so far. SEC. Oh, wow. Georgia clearly, guaranteed the SEC championship. Then it's probably going to be Texas or Ole Miss. LSU will do it, maybe Texas. Alabama 3-3 and 5-5 throughout the year. Furthermore, the recruits, the top 10 recruits, last time we saw 3 were committed. 2 to Texas, 1 to Michigan. Illinois still leading, haven't. These 2 with Castaneda, has the wide receiver, has gone to Ohio. Garrison, Georgia is now, not Georgia, Florida is now leading Garrison as they overtake Georgia. Cole, Alabama is taking the lead as he's going into his top 3. Combs, North Carolina winning, and Oregon win the right outside linebacker. Berlin beating Texas, and Lemon is now being won by Colorado. as many have been left undecided. Now at week 15, the final week before conference play, we see that Colorado is still in the top 3, not losing a game, with Ohio and Georgia have been there the whole time. Miami, Ohio is still ranked. Texas State have lost their first game of the year. University of Alabama are now 10-2 and have reached top 25 so Boise. East Carolina somewhere under top 25 being 8-4. Rice, wow, they're in the top, they're 20th, being 9-3. That's one of the worst scores in Texas. Fresno State 11-1. Lots of more random teams in this top 25, which you wouldn't have expected. Recruiting, we see that Avant has now chosen and committed Oregon State, and Florida win Garrison, and LSU win Cole from Alabama just, with Kerms and Lemon still being undecided, but Washington State do take back Lemon's lead. Now looking at the conference standings, the final is Miami, North Carolina State, East Carolina, and Rice, UAB get. I'm pretty sure. Anyways, UAB get picked, all finishing 6-2. Big 12, it's Colorado, who are going 12-0 in the season, dominating the Big 12 with Kansas State losing the last two, which got them unranked. Ohio and Maryland, I'd like to say, the Big 10 Conference final. Conference USA and FBS no one cares about. Of course, Miami will be in the MAC final, however, that won't be really important. Fresno, Boise, 2 ranked teams, will be in the conference final for Mountain West. SEC, it will be Texas A&M and Georgia, who will be in the conference final. If Texas A&M lose, they may be out of the playoffs, so I might view that game. The top 25 is now finished as the conference it's the conference championship week. Ohio, Georgia, and Colorado remain top 3, being undefeated the whole year. North Carolina State go back to 6th. Miami still in 11th. The last 5 are the same, I'd like to say. The Heisman finalists are also in. Will Howard, Shedeur Sanders, Jordan McLeod from Texas State, Carson Beck, and DJ Ugalele are your top 5 Heisman finalists. College football playoff bracket seems to be Kentucky, Texas, Maryland, Oregon, Miami University and SMU, LSU, and North Carolina, with Miami, Ohio, Colorado, and Georgia all having byes. Texas A&M, the Aggies, playing at Georgia against Georgia in the SEC Championship again. They should really need to win to be in the college football playoffs. However, that's going to be a hard task against the loserless Georgia. 12-0, 8-0 in conference. Georgia clear favourites as they get the ball to start the game in the start with field goal. Texas A&M march down but get nothing, field goal in return. 3-3 at the end of the first quarter. 2 field goals apiece. Georgia start with touchdown. They get another touchdown. They lead 7-3. Texas A&M with another touchdown. 13-20 at the half. Interception by Georgia, and they go down, get the they go and get the touchdown, and it looks like they're going to be in Georgia favour. Yes, it is, and we're going to see. Oh, never mind. Thought we were going to see a dominant Georgia win, however, Texas A&M with the ball in the last quarter, 26-33. They need to score now, get the onside kick. They got 3 timeouts in the 2 minutes on their Georgia 30 with check down pass for 3 yards. Texas A&M. Wayman, the quarterback, is standing, no pressure, he gets it. Oh, how? What is 18 doing? Wide open, doesn't turn to catch ball. Let's say it's back in the end zone and goes out of bounds. 3rd and 7. Quarterback scrambles out. Wasn't good. No teams using their timeouts yet. It's 4th and 8. They're not going for the field goal. They're going for all or nothing. 8 yards needed. Lots of time. Pass completed. It's 18 and it's a timeout by the Aggies. Lots of time for the quarterback. Throws it over. Running play. And it gets blown up behind the line of scrimmage for 4 yards. Time. Fourth and 14. This is the do or die for Texas A&M. Wayman has time. Dropped in the end zone. Now Georgia, all they need to do is kneel it to win the SEC championship, and they do. Georgia end the conference play and regular season 13-0. Aggies may have just lost out on a college football playoff run, but all will tell when we simulate the week. Carson Beck, player of the game. The Heisman winner is Ohio State's Will Howard. He wins the Heisman as Ohio State and 13-0 and as the number 1 seed. This is the college football playoff bracket. Fresno State get in as 12 seed, SMU 5th seed, Colorado play North Carolina State, Maryland play Oregon, LSU play Texas A&M. The ranked 11th Miami, Ohio, get the bye and go straight to the quarterfinals into the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. The Rose Bowl, Ohio State gets the bye, Miami get a bye into the Fiesta Bowl, and Georgia gets a bye into the Sugar Bowl. Fresno State lose to SMU 27-9. Colorado lose to North Carolina State 38-30 in a shootout. Maryland lose to Oregon 24-31. LSU beat A&M by a field goal in the 34-31 win. And the quarterfinals are now taking place this week. We see SMU, Miami, Miami University, Colorado, Ohio State, Oregon, Miami, LSU, Georgia. The semi-finals of the college football playoff are now here, and we will be watching both games. Georgia, of course, win as they are still undefeated at 14-0, and they are playing Oregon in the semi-finals. So SMU are playing Ohio State. SMU thrashed Miami University, Ohio 40-18. Gonna be honest, don't know how Miami did get the bye, whilst SMU did. Colorado lose to Ohio 35-32, giving Ohio a scare. Oregon beat 3 Miami 21-18, and Georgia dominate LSU 52-36. However, it was a shootout with nearly 90 points being scored in that game. So maybe that shows that Georgia's defense may not be as good as it was during the regular season because of some. Georgia beat Oregon. Georgia get the first points on the ball with a touchdown. It's 14-7 with Georgia scoring the second touchdown for Oregon reply in the last couple of minutes, the last minute or so in the first quarter. Georgia's going away. This 31-7. Looks like this will be a domination. Questions about Georgia defense. No more 38-17 heading into the last quarter. And I think we're going to see a Georgia dominant win. How about Oregon? We're bringing it back a bit to the end to make it a spectacle. 44-30 score. Georgia did dominate like they have all year, and are now in the college football playoff final, beating Oregon in the Orange Bowl with ease. Carson Beck 251 passing yards and 3 touchdowns. Ohio State playing SMU in the Cotton Bowl. See who will be playing Georgia in the final. The undefeated Georgia. The only other undefeated team in this is Ohio State. SMU are ranked 4th. So it will not be an easy game for Ohio State, but you would expect them to beat the inferior SMU, who are 12-2. In the Cotton Bowl. Looks like Ohio State will get the ball from kickoff. And they drive down, get 7 points, and it starts 10-0, 10-3 at the end of the first quarter to Ohio. Yeah, again, it seems like the better Yeah, as we see, the better team is running away now. It's 38-6 at halftime to Ohio. We will surely be having Ohio State, Georgia college football playoff final as Ohio win 59-34 against SMU. Yeah, again, was not a close game in the semi-finals. We'll be getting the first seed Ohio State and the second seed Georgia, both undefeated teams in the college football playoff final. Ohio State, the winner of the Cotton Bowl. Top 10 recruits in the prospects in the country from high school have all signed for a team. As we know, Avant for Oregon, Willis for Texas, Whitehead for Texas, Castaneda for Ohio, Robinson for Michigan, Garrison for Florida. Cole goes to LSU. Oh, Combs still undecided. However, North Carolina, it will be North Carolina or Clemson. And it looks like North Carolina will take Combs. Boland takes Oregon, and Lemon still undecided, and that's more of an open race between Oklahoma, Washington State, and Colorado. The transfer portal is not ready yet. Time for the national championship. 2 undefeated teams, Ohio State and Georgia. 1 from the Big Ten, 1 from the SEC. Which team will remain undefeated and which one will lose 1 step away from the title? The Ohio State Buckeyes or Georgia Bulldogs? pretty sure this is at Georgia. So Georgia will have the home field advantage. As it is a Mercedes-Benz. As we see Georgia kicking the ball off to Ohio State to start the game. And it will result Ohio running it out. And takes it to this 17-yard line. As we see, Ohio State has been more of a better offensive team, you could say, with better third down yardage. Or third down percentage and yards per game. We'll see the first try from both teams of college football playoff. Quarterback sets back and gets sacked first play. Number 2, Mondon Jr. sacks the Ohio State quarterback. First play of the national championship. Awful start for Ohio. Can't get any worse. See, it's enough passing play. Maybe a jet sweep, which gets around, well, gets it 3rd and 13. And Ohio will probably play safe and just run the ball and punt it. No, they're going for a passing play. He lots of time hit whilst he's passing, gets it off, but it's stopped in front, and it's 4th and 4. Georgia setting up to return the punt. Ohio State 3 and out. Big booming punt and fair catch caught, and it's Georgia's ball on their 35-yard line. Now we see the first drive of Georgia. Carson Beck, the quarterback, pulls action, play action, throws it first down of the day for the team in the national championship. Running play, handed off, gain of 2 yards. Cosbeck hands it off. Blitz didn't get much of time. Etienne loses the yard. Carson Beck, not much time, lots of pressure, and he's sacked. 4th and 19. Now the team really manages to make a good drive or string of plays, as neither drive last one 6 plays. And Georgia will punt the ball back to Ohio State after getting around 6 yards. Oh wait, from that 1 yard technically. Tackled, punt return tackled at 23. Georgia with 1st and 10. And Georgia will get the first points for the 32-yard field goal. Ohio State can't answer back and kick a touchback with the punt. However, get a 3 and out from Georgia as they return, as Ohio have a nice return back. And the first quarter, Georgia winning 3-0. 10-0 to Georgia after a long play. 56-yard touchdown for Ohio State with the kick at this point. It's 10-7, Georgia. Georgia with a 12-yard passing touchdown. Half time, Georgia leading 24-7. 7. Ohio State respond 24-10. However, with 1 quarter left, it looks like Georgia may win against Ohio State. It's now 31-10. Ohio driving down and get the touchdown on 4th and 16, 31-17. However, Georgia seemed to be too dominant with another touchdown of themselves. Georgia 41, Ohio State 24. Georgia are your college football champions with an undefeated year, demolishing the undefeated Ohio State 41-24 in the national championship. Carson Beck, 334 yards and 3 touchdowns. As we see Georgia State celebrating the national championship trophy. And end the year 16-0. With a dominant showing against Ohio State in the final. The recruiting top 10 should now be fully done. For only looking for Isaiah goes to North Carolina, and Lemon's still not decided. However, it looks like he will be at Colorado. And now we'll look at the transfer portal. Who is the best player in the transfer portal? It is Caleb Downs, who was at Ohio State, so wants to leave. There's Lawson from Alabama, Jones from LSU, Brown from Florida State, McDoom from Coastal Carolina, Bond from Texas, Belling from Michigan State, Sammer and Cooper from Iowa State, and Hill from Memphis being the top 10 best transfer portal recruits. Oh, they ended ranked 25 Alabama with only 3 people getting drafted, which is quite disappointing for them, as they had a very poor season as well. 8-5 and 5-3 in the SEC. How was International Signing Day? As we see what teams have got which players, and we'll finally see who gets. Oh. So you see Ohio State gets lots of free subs from the transfer portal. And they're doing the 15-1. Lemon joins Colorado as we thought. And the top prospects. Caleb Downs joins Clemson. Lawson joins Mississippi. Jones joins Houston. Brown joins South Carolina. McDoom joins Georgia. Bond joins Georgia. Velling signed to Georgia. Sammer joins Nebraska. Cooper joins Aggies. And Hill joins Alabama. The top classes of the year goes to Notre Dame, the Fighting Irish, Alabama, Texas, Georgia, LSU, Oregon, Ohio, Penn State, South Carolina, and Washington. Fighting Irish with the most 5 stars gets 253 points. The worst is Jacksonville State with only 6 people committing. Charlotte, New Mexico, South Alabama, Arkansas, Western Michigan, New Mexico, Georgia Southern, and Georgia State. Being the worst 8, with Oregon State and San Diego around worst 10.